Hey everybody, Jeffrey Powers from Geekazine. Can you hear me? Yeah, you can hear me. I've got this going. Of course, let's do some noise cancellation on the audio here. Let's see, a little bit of noise reduction. We'll do a 1. So now you should just hear me as we go. How you doing? Jeffrey Powers from Geekazine. Think Magazine put in a geek. Got some retro gear on. It's getting colder. It's November 1st. And we are playing with the OBSBOT Tail 2. And I'm actually thinking of using the Tail 2 for my CES action because of the ability, some of the ability to reduce shake. I might take this into CES Unveiled without any other gear other than, of course, a microphone. We are using the Boya mic right now, just in a single mode. This is the handheld boom mic thing, but we're doing it in single mode right now as we're going. It looks like I've got some audio, good audio there, hopefully. Let me know in the comments below if the audio is not great, and we'll go from there. I'm going to turn on the auto tracking here and do it like that. And then we're going to select my face. There we go. So now it's going to try and settle in as we go. But now what I'm doing is I'm just kind of playing with the idea and how this all is going to work if I decide to use this at CES. I probably won't use the AI feature for CES, but I know that I have the functionality for it. Cat's wondering what's going on. That's okay. We're in my living room, so welcome to my living room. And we're just basically walking around, figuring it all out. I got the TV's right behind me. We got some artwork. It's still set up for Thanksgiving. I got to take down the decorations today, but and a little bit messy. Apologize for that. But anyway, we're over here. This is a townhouse setup, so you'll see some stairs over here in the front door. I'm getting a little bit farther away so you can see how it zooms in and works around. We just put on the brand new firmware for OBSBOT Tail 2. So I'm seeing how that works. I'm not really digging that whole swing that happens on there. I'm hoping that there's maybe a AI tuner or anything like that. The cat is jumping up on the couch here and meowing, wondering what's going on. Maybe you'll hear that in the background. I don't know. Let's see. Can we see the cat? Nope, can't see the cat. Sorry. I'm up here. There we go. Come back up. There we go. All right. So, well, yeah, that's all I had to do. Yeah, that's pretty much what anyway, you can check out my living room here really quick. So, like I said, some Halloween decorations. Let's go ahead. I'll go ahead and take all this down as we go. But my main, over here, we got a small little shelf, got some incense, got my Ghostbusters sign up here. Then my dad made this. He passed away about 5 years ago, so this is a nice tree that I keep up. He did a lot of woodworking stuff. I got a birdhouse I still have to put up, and he did we got a cribbage board, which is over there. I don't want to walk over there just yet because it's kind of the messy side of things. Not that this is the cleanest in the world. So anyway, we got the main shelf, got an Xbox down here, got some gaming stuff down here. I don't play too many games, but it's always fun. And then, of course, we got the decorations on the wall. This is when we played on a boat, which was the first time that I ever did that. That was a lot of fun. And then some of the artwork, like one of those wine and paint things. I don't know. So movie theme on the walls, and of course a little bit of cat theme. You can't see that. Let's bend down a little bit so you can see the cats. So I did these on the 3D printer. There's 3 of them over here. But if we move over here to the entertainment center, we got the simple. It's basically a 50-inch TV. And we got the Roku and everything. We got our Echo down here and Roku and everything. You get the idea there. Over here, we got our little fireplace. Bend down for that. There's the fireplace right there. Yeah, it is electric. What can you do? And a couple extra decorations. And then over here, we got the other shelf with more stuff and another painting up here. Halloween decorations, which once again I'm going to be taking down a little bit later today because it is November 1st. And wow, that's doing some wide swings. Let's just do this really quick. That's kind of crazy. I wonder if I can tune that down. I got the phones over here. If I do this, then I'm going to have a device on the stand that's actually plugged directly into the camera. Right now I'm doing a lot of wireless. So phone to camera, wireless to camera. If I go to CES, I'm going to be using my UHF wireless, my Sony, because that will keep a more constant connection. Whereas 2.4 gigahertz wireless don't fare too well in conference settings like that. So I don't use 2.4 gigahertz wireless. The content I create is way too important to have a problem with the audio. So, and I don't know if you've ever experienced that. That's what I experienced. And so that's how, until I get a solid 2.4 gigahertz system that doesn't make me sound like a chipmunk, then I will definitely switch to it. But right now, I am not switching to that. So I should have set up a laptop so I could actually see myself. In fact, I'm going to do that right now. I have my MacBook Air right here. I can bring that up like so. And then go to my YouTube channel. And then we're going to go to me. There we go. There we go. I just want to hear myself. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then we're going to go to me. There we go. That sounds pretty good. All right. So Mindy's Productions gives me a thumbs up and says, can you take a shot of the camera and how it works? Unfortunately, no, because what I'm doing is I'm streaming from the camera. So there's no way that you can see the camera and I don't have another camera attached. But this is the OBSBOT Tail 2, which is their full-size PTZ-R, which is pan, tilt, zoom, rotate, which means that if I took the stand, picked it up, and started swinging it like a pendulum, the camera will actually, there's a sensor inside and a motor inside the lens, so it'll actually start rotating the lens. The only thing I can do to show you how that works is I can offset the rotation. So I can go into the settings and I can go, where is it? And you might hear some noise in the background. I got the dishwasher running, by the way. So let's do some offset. You might start to see the offset. Oh, we got gimbal smoothness. Let's go and set that to a 7. And we're going to turn off the hybrid zoom. I don't want that. So now we have a 7-degree angle right there. So everything's at an angle. You got like a little Batman thing going right there. How cool is that? But if I want to set it back, all I have to do is go into the settings, hit the reset button, boom. And now it straightens out. So, but that's pretty cool. Let's see if we got any other questions here. Mindy's going, how about a mirror? How about a mirror? I don't have a, do I have a mirror? I don't have a mirror. Sorry, not here. No, I do not have a mirror here. Here I do not have the mirror. The mirror I do not have. Yeah, but you can go to obsbot.com. I think I have, what is it? Geekazine.com/obsbot. Lost me. It lost me. I'm right here. Hello. Okay, there we go. But anyway, you can go there and, excuse me, you can go there, you get some water. You can go there and take a look. It's the Tail 2. The Tail 2 from OBSBOT. So, anyway, if you've never been to Geekazine, thank you very much for coming. I appreciate it very much. And at Geekazine, I basically review products and interview people. We're going to CES, and of course, interviewing companies as we go. And it's always a challenge to do that. So it's kind of nice to have something that will do a lot more than just be a standard camera, because I could set this down and I could have a one-on-one conversation with or without the AI tracking on and be able to finish the conversation. There's just, they put on a night mode, which it's a little bit too daylight in here to capture that night mode feel. But I'm definitely going to be testing that later today when it starts to get darker, or I set up a room that's going to be really dark. Maybe my basement. That's pretty dark down there. Yeah, it's pretty dark down there. So we can definitely do that and show you how the night mode works. I do have it turned on, so it might flip over. We don't know. That's what I'm testing. Right now, I am in my living room, so the acoustics just a little bit bouncy. You know, there's no sound treatment in here, so you might be hearing that in the room. And we do have the slight noise cancellation on the mics. And then the lighting here is pretty subpar, you know, standard lighting. Keep it nice and enough to see what's going on in the room, but not too bright. I mean, I can definitely brighten up my living room lights and go from there. But I think this is a good lighting right here. And I'm looking now, I should be looking at the camera, but I keep looking at the phone so I can see myself. I've also got my video down here, but I can see the tracking is doing pretty good. There's been a couple times that it's lost me, and that's okay. So we're going to go over here. Get this scarf out of the way. There we go. I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to have a conversation with you on the staircase. So I'm over here, and I can even go up the stairs and wave goodbye, and then go out of frame, and then come back down. There might have been a weird echo there. Now it's going to find me again. And there we go, having a conversation like so. You can also use this, you can use this for many different things. Once again, that swing is really just bothering me, so I'm going to have to talk to them about that. But as I'm seeing on the camera, the video I just saw was me going up the stairs, and now I'm going to come back down. And I'm looking at that video, and let's see if it does that, the swing I'm seeing myself do. Yeah, it's definitely doing that swing. So something to talk about, to hopefully fine tune, because that's a little bit too much. And maybe there's an option on here to slow down. Let's do a high smooth. Let's see if that makes a difference. It probably won't zoom in as much. No, it's not making a difference. If I do this, if I'm just rocking back and forth like this, it's working too hard on that. But what I've used the Tail 2 for was when I go to record a band or something like that. I'd actually zoom in on the guitar rather than the face, and then it follows the guitar, which is really awesome. In fact, probably follows any product that I have. Is there something I can select? This water, maybe the water bottle, maybe it'll do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to retune this. I'll wait till this calms down a second. And then I'm going to retune to here. So now what it's going to do is it's going to follow the water bottle. It's not going to follow me. How cool is that? So I can have it, if I was doing any type of product placement information, then, you know, I could say, here's the product right here. And it's going to focus more on the product than it's going to focus on me. So when I move this product around, as you can see, it's focusing on the product here and not me. And so if let's just take this out there, and I go here, that'll set me back up to gimbal zoom. And then now I've got it focused on me. I actually have it focused on my mouth more than anything, so it's going to really zoom in, isn't it? Nice. Let's bring it out. And we're going to bring it out some more. There we go. So maybe by the different types of zoom, now we're going to do a whole body shot. It's not really pulling up to the face. I think it's tracking on my body. So let's bring this back here. There we go. And now we'll get my full face here. There we go. Now we're tracking on my face. So as you can see, you can have a lot of fun with this. And instead of tracking a person's face, you can track a product, which is pretty sweet. So if you have any other questions, feel free to ask me, and we'll talk about that. So if you don't follow me over on things like Facebook or anything like that, it's Geekazine. Think magazine put into Geek, Geekazine right there. That's where you can find me. I mean, that's fairly straightforward. I created that little corner of the internet for me. So you can definitely check that all out there. But yeah, facebook.com, Geekazine. Doing a lot of Sora. So if you want to follow me on Sora, once again, Geekazine, and check out some of the cool stuff we're doing. So I'm creating AI video, plus I'm creating my own video, and it's pretty impressive how it all works together. I'm really happy with that. So I don't see any more questions here just yet, but feel free to ask questions as we go. I'm going to try and stay on for another 15 minutes. We're at 18 minutes right now. And the cool thing about the OBSBOT is not only is it streaming to you guys, but it's also recording. Now, the tail there has a lot of great features to it, and that's one of them. Another one is if you want to record vertical instead of horizontal, all you have to do is hit a button, and that R, the PTZ R stands for rotate, will rotate 90 degrees, and then you'll have a vertical video of whatever you're streaming. And of course, with the AI, you can definitely keep people in track and in focus. I can also change the focus. So like, for instance, let's see. Let's focus on that image right there. And it should not be focusing on me. So I might be blurring out as I come close and far away. But if I want to focus on me, all I have to do is hit the button right there. And now it's giving the general focus. You might want to just choose the focus right straight smack dab in the center. So, and then of course stay in center of the frame, and you're good to go. Good to go. So, all right. No other questions yet. So feel free to ask questions in the chat over on youtube.com. And I appreciate that very much. Of course, I'll talk about the fact I do have a Patreon over at patreon.com/Geekazine that you can go to to support the channel. You can also do a one-time tip over at venmo.com/Geekazine. And then, of course, amazon.com/shop/Geekazine, where you can get some of the merch. You just scroll down, you'll see where it says merch. And then we got some great t-shirts like I like Geek Butts and I Cannot Lie, the Geek AI t-shirt, Before Coffee, Geek Out, Before Coffee Wi-Fi. Yeah, Geek Out is basically it. But some of the other shirts, the Cryptic Geek shirt, and many more. So you can check that out over at amazon.com/shop/Geekazine in the merch section. Or if you're on YouTube, you'll see the Teespring shirts version shirts right there. So you can check that out either way. I appreciate that much. So, all right. Okay, don't have any more questions just yet. We're doing all the following in the tracking. I've got this on manual. Let's do this. Let's switch the... Oh, no, it is on automatic right now. So we're going to switch over. Can I not? Oh, I can't do manual in night mode. So I'd have to turn off night mode. So let's do that. I can do an auto brightness compensation too. Let's turn off night mode. I can't turn off night mode until I stop recording. All right. Well, hey. These are the things that I'm learning as I go. Because once again, when I use this for like going to see a band and recording a band, the lighting is going to be completely different. And of course, there's going to be people running around. So doing AI on a guitar, AI on a face, that's going to be a key right there. So, all right, got a new question in here. Let's bring this up. Definitely cool, the auto tracking on your subject. Really cool camera, helps with solo videos. Yeah, that's true, Mind's Eye. It's definitely something. Even if it's something as simple as, let's get this towel out of the way, sitting in a chair. Let's see if this works. Sit in a chair and have a conversation with you guys. As you can see, it's zooming in, and of course I've got this up high because it's eye level when I'm standing. So I could be sitting in this chair and I could be talking about something. And I could be rocking back and forth, and of course the camera's going to follow me. But then I can get up and go over to the TV. Not too fast, I guess. So almost. I'm right here. There we go. There we go. So I could go over to the TV here, and I could talk about what I'm watching or whatnot. Or I could talk about one of these cool paintings that we did. This is our previous cat, Zoe, and the cats, we had Zoe, but the other two cats were adopted by other people, and so this is a depiction of Zoe. So that's Scotty right there. Zoe passed away 2019, something like that, 28, right before, year before the pandemic, 1 or 2 years before the pandemic. I was in California when it happened, so I think it was, 2017. Now I'm thinking about that. So, but yeah, it's a great way to just have some fun. And of course, if you stay pretty static, then you don't get this whole wavy shake thing too much. But you can definitely grab yourself a product, talk about that product, and then once again, you could have it focus on that product. But once you set the AI, you look at that. It's not changing, but there's ways to change it so the AI could follow this over this. And that's pretty cool right there. So, and AI PTZ cameras, I just reviewed one where the AI wasn't that great. But the reality is I don't do too much AI. You gotta have the right situation when it comes to having AI control. The best situation I found is if you're recording somebody that's giving a presentation on stage. The lights in the studio are down, but the stage lights are pretty bright. I have a camera that will go to position 1 no matter what if it loses the target, which is the podium. And then they'll go to the podium. And so when somebody walks up, it'll capture that, and then it'll walk around with them. The second that they walk off in the distance, when it gets dark, it loses the person, and then of course goes right back to the podium. So if you're doing single person presentations, it's easy that way, because like I said, the second they step off stage, you're good to go. It's right back to ground zero, which is right about here. All right. So, but the real question is, what do you guys think about this camera? It's a $1,200 camera, but they will be running Black Friday specials. So I'm pretty sure on that. And I'll get some Black Friday codes to present to you guys, so you can get a camera like this. But what we've got for the gear, it's simply the Tail 2. And then, of course, we got the Boya microphone. It's this microphone right here, which is pretty compact in itself. These are all the foam, what some people call dead cats, but it's like a protective wind sound. So if it got windy in here, you wouldn't hear it. But this is the Boya microphone right here. So 2 little lav mics, and then of course if I put them into this case becomes a handheld, and I can also set it on a camera for a boom microphone. So not the best sound, but not too bad. Comes with, like I said, the windscreens and everything like that. And I got so much compact gear, it's crazy. This is the OBSBOT Meet 2. This is one of the other cameras they have. This is a 4K camera that I used last year at CES as the main camera. When I was interviewing people, this camera would be on us, and then of course I could take the PTZ camera and put it on the product, which is awesome. And if I use this camera, then I can put that on the product and do the AI. So if we have something that's moving around or anything like that, it will move with it. Like for instance, if Yarbo was one of the companies I interviewed last year, and if they're at CES, we can interview them, and this camera can stay on like one of the Yarbo mowers, and as it's moving around while I have the conversation with the CEO or whoever, and which is awesome. I have a lot of fun with these types of interviews, and it's ever growing. Because with CES, it's usually you when I first started back in 2008, we'd do single camera shots, but we would have to go back and do some major editing. And now with some of the gear that I have, I could actually do a 2 to 3 camera shoot and have it look, like we're in a studio, and have a PTZ running around doing some AI tracking like this, and be able to work it in a way where I can then turn around and have it published up on YouTube within 30 minutes, or live stream it if we do have the bandwidth. I highly doubt that we'll have the bandwidth to live stream at CES. But if you're doing something a little bit local and more intimate, where there's not as many people, not as many Wi-Fi signals crossing paths, then something like this could probably be a lot easier to do. Recording a band or a local event that has presenters or anything like that. So, all right, let's see if we do have another question in the chat here. So let's pick up on my laptop. And I came in late. Did you mention the price? Yeah, the price, and that was from SkyStars 35. And let's just do this. I'm going to go in here really quick. And we should probably put this in here. I'll tell you the price in a second. Let's see if it shows up. Let's see. Let's try this. It's the Tail 2. Wow, there's an OBSBOT Tail 2 Elgato prompter kit. I'm going to do the Tail 2, which is out of stock. That's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, let's do this instead. I'll untag that. And then we'll even put in the Tail Air because that's a great camera as well. I don't have one of the Tail Airs down here, but I use it all the time in doing lots of different records. So we'll hit done and save. And now you should see a product list show up down here. If you don't, just refresh and you'll see the product list. But it's about $1,200 for this camera. And they're great cameras if you need them right now. They're a great camera to have around for whatever you do. And it comes with software, so I can actually control it with my phone. I can control it. I could hook it up with the laptop and control it via the laptop. You can get a remote control for it, so you don't need a computer by you. And you can, a lot of times you could just set it and let it record and go from there. So anyway, let's come back here. Nope. Let's go back here. There we go. And have a lot of fun. So, welcome to the live chat. Yeah, I'll say thanks for the questions. And SkyStars35 says, thank you. You're welcome very, very much. I'm going to try and do a few more of these live streams to see what happens. And of course, if you want to be part of that, just let me know. You can always be a Patreon over at patreon.com/Geekazine. One-time tip over at Venmo, venmo.com/Geekazine. Should probably create a QR code that you can just scan from there. And yeah, the cat's shifting around. She wants to be close to me right now, but not want to be next to me. So I think that's going to do it for me. How long have we been on? For about 30 minutes. Yeah, that's pretty good right there. So what we're going to do is we're going to close it right here unless there's any more questions here. I'll give it about 2 more minutes and then we'll head out from there. Now, this is actually pretty cool. Let's turn off the AI. And we're going to just kind of position it up a little bit. There. Whoops. Nope, that's too much. Come back down. There you go. What are you doing? What you doing? There you go. Sometimes that gets a little finicky. There we go. And that's always good to have the remote control with there. So now we're on a static shot. So this will not move around, so I can walk away from the camera. Let's turn it off here. There we go. So what was I going to say? Oh, yeah. So now I can just have a conversation. I can answer questions from the chat right here using the laptop and just have some fun with whatever. Maybe I'm going to be talking about a movie. Maybe I'm going to be talking about home decor. Maybe I'm just going to be rambling on like I normally do, answering questions on tech or something like that. If you got tech questions, feel free to ask that question. But it looks like we are good. So Skylar says, thank you. Thank you to Mind's Eye, Thank you to Mind's Eye, and thank you to Skystar for asking questions and being curious about this. So once again, Tail 2, and I'm just going to set this down. And thanks a lot for watching. I'm going to go off camera here. And you guys geek out and stream on with OBSBOT. Take care. What you thinking, kitten? That should have stopped the live stream, but it's not. That's a small problem. All right, I'm going to stop it here. All right, bye.